Hi everyone. So we are actually on our 25th day of Advent. I only got the name done last night. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to do our um weekly activity list. So we're actually going to do that now, today, and then tonight I'm going to be back to do our candle to close out our series. So we're going to go ahead and jump into that. For those that maybe this is your first video, we are doing this study out of an Advent devotional, Unwrapping the Names of Jesus. So this is the book that we've been using. So today for this video, we're going to go over our last activity week page just to close out love, and it just gives you some really cool ideas and how to incorporate love in your week and all of that stuff. So it's really cool. So that's what we're going to be doing, and then like I said, I'll be back tonight to close out with our final candle. But let's go ahead and get started. So this is week 4 activities. It's love in action. The activities below range from fun-filled family activities to service-oriented projects that you can do with your children or by yourself. Pick an activity from the suggested list below to put your love into action this week. Alright, so the first one is write a letter to each of your children recounting a special Christmas memory. Describe the scene in vivid detail, sharing what they were wearing, what smells were in the air, who else was there, and how you felt. Even if you don't consider yourself a writer, allow love to lace your words together. I like that. That is super sweet. And so important. I think it's really easy with just all of the craziness of the day-to-days and work and school, like all of these things. It can be very easy to forget to make sure that our children realize how much we love them. And we don't realize it, because it's been a while since we were that age, but they have, all these emotions too. And what's worse is they don't understand all of them. All they know is they're feeling something crazy, and they don't know what to do with it. So, taking that time to intentionally let them know how much you love them, and how much all the memories you make mean to them, it could really help our kids, because like I said, we get up in the hustle and bustle of it all, and sometimes we forget, and there might be a time where maybe we snap at them about something, or maybe we didn't quite acknowledge something they were trying to show us that they were really proud of. Not intentionally, but it just, like I said, with all the hustle and bustle and the jobs and the this and the that, it can happen, and it's a lot easier to do than what we realize. So while we can't always make up for those moments that we might miss, or may not realize our behavior or something of that nature, to be intentional in making sure that our kids know how much we love them is really important. Which I love the writing part too, because I love to write. So that's a really cool idea to actually do the letter. So it's something for them to have and hold on to. So they can go back and read it when they want to. Maybe they're feeling down or missing us if maybe we take a business trip, or something like that, or they're on a field trip or something, and maybe they take the letter with them and they can read it. So that's a really great way to make sure they have that with them. So I love that. That's really cool. And I love sharing all of our Christmas memories with my son, especially ones from like when he was a baby, because he doesn't quite remember them, so he's like, I don't remember that. And I was like, I know you don't, because you were a baby, but it happened and it was like my favorite thing. So that's a really good one. I love that. Okay, so our next one is host a free pancake breakfast for international students, playing gospel-centered Christmas songs in the background and asking them to share what Christmas is like in their home country. Look for opportunities to build bridges and point them to Emmanuel, God with us. That's a very interesting one. I like that. I think that one might be a little more difficult to do just by yourself. But if you could get a group together, maybe get a church to let you host there, maybe your church or someone, some other church in the community that does that kind of thing, that would be a really cool one to do. Which, and you can, there's a way to do it maybe on a smaller scale. Maybe if you participate in like a foreign exchange student thing, or you just, your kids know some people that go to school with them, that sort of thing. You could do like a small intimate one at home, where it wouldn't be so overwhelming. But there's a couple ways to do that, so I like that. And I love, what a great idea to incorporate their culture, because I'm sure out of all the things that they're homesick the most around this time, or around whatever, because some of them don't celebrate Christmas, some people have different uh, holidays, or that sort of thing around this time. Some of them, this December is just December, you know what I mean? Like it's not a super special thing or anything like that. So that's a really fun idea, and what a way to educate yourself too, and get to learn it firsthand from the people that celebrate it that way, or celebrate whatever it is their holiday is. So, and on top of that, you get to see different ways that people do celebrate Christmas, too, because a lot of people have different ways, different traditions, different, all the things. So it's a great way to educate yourself and to let them know, that we do care, and that, we love to learn about what their culture is, and make them feel at home, because I'm sure, like I said, I'm sure that a lot of them feel homesick around this time, the ones that do have holidays or Christmas itself. So, what a great way to let them kind of relive some of that, and, maybe even get some ideas for like a holiday party or something, you know what I mean? That kind of maybe incorporates a little bit of everything, from all the cultures. Some way to make them feel at home and like they're loved and seen. So it's a really great idea. I do think there might be some challenges doing it, like I said, on a larger scale, unless you do it like with a group of people. But you could definitely do it on an intimate setting. So I like that. I like that a lot. The next one is bake a birthday cake for Jesus, the Son of Man, who left the splendor of heaven to take on human flesh. Encourage your children to think of ways they might say happy birthday to Jesus by showing love to someone around them. That's a really cute one, to do a birthday cake for Jesus, and that would be a fun one for the kids. So that's definitely a good idea. You can do it from scratch, or get like one of the box ones and let them decorate it, and let them do all the icing and like sprinkles and stuff. That's a really cute one. Have a hot chocolate date with your spouse to reconnect and rekindle the romance in the midst of this busy season. Celebrate what's going well and look for opportunities to affirm them and speak words of love over their life. I love that one. I love that they did one for the spouse. That's always really important, and I think probably one of the most neglected relationships that we have is with our spouses during this time of year, because we are so busy trying to make it, all the things for the kids, and especially like if you're, in my situation, for example, I'm more of one of the matriarchs that we have, if you will, for lack of a better word, you know, basically meaning that I'm one of the houses that we do dinners and stuff at. So that can, take away as well, just because you have to plan all of that. You have to do all the cooking, decorating, making sure we have seating, making sure, all the things. So it can be really easy to let your spouse slip through the cracks because they're usually just as busy, and they do it as well. So it's like, it's not any one, it's both, but it's really easy to do accidentally because, we see each other every day, you live together, so it's like, it's not computing as much that, oh wait, we haven't really spent just any us time, because you do live together. So it's like, it's not as noticed at first, because it's like, you don't live with your friends, you don't live with all your family, so that you haven't seen them in a while, or that you haven't spent quality time with them. It's a little harder with your spouse to immediately recognize that and immediately recognize that's what you need. So that's a really great one. I love that they put a focus on that for one of them. And that's a cute little idea too, to do the hot chocolate as a little date and definitely celebrate. I know for me and my husband, that's something, when we first had our first son, or our first child, which was Jax, he there for like probably the first year-ish, maybe closer to 2, we had some issues like that, connection wise, because it was very hard to like adjust and get used to the, okay, we have a kid, but we both have jobs too. We have, trying to figure out who's going to watch the baby while we work, who's, doing this. And then when we get home, all we're wanting to do is focus on the new baby. So we spend all of our attention on that. And then, we're so tired by the end of the day, all we can do is fall into bed and go to sleep together. So we struggled there for a little while, and we realized that was why we were getting so snippy with each other, because other than the fact that we shared a bed, we were like two ships passing in the night. And that doesn't work in a relationship. You can't have communication, you can't have connection, any of that when you live like that. So it is very important. While all our children are important and they're the main focus, it is very, very important to have that time with your spouse as well, because that's when you can reconnect. That's when you can turn the parent brain off for a little bit and just be you, and have that time. And it's a good way to refocus and recenter, because it does help you realize all the blessings that you have, and you get to talk to your partner about it, and y'all get to share that together and be happy about it, and celebrate it, and you get to spend that quality time together too and reconnect. So all of that is super important. So I love that. The next one is tape $1 in quarters on washers in a laundromat to serve those who may be going through hardship. As you do, pray that Jesus, the man of sorrows, would make his presence known to them through your simple act of kindness, and that they would feel part of their own burden lift. That is a really great idea. I've never actually thought about that, as far as to do like the laundromat part. But I do anything like that, I think is a good idea. And I do love that one in particular, because that's a great one where it would be very easy for just whoever to come in and use it that may need it, because a lot of people use the laundromat. Not everybody has, washer and dryers, or, sometimes even if they do, they still use it because they'll get behind on laundry. I've done that before. I've gotten behind on laundry. When there's 4 of us, it's easy to do, let me tell you. And sometimes that laundromat is a godsend because it's a bigger machine, so it can do it faster and do more at a time. So I've had to do that before. And then like I said, some people don't have it, especially like people that live in apartments and stuff. Sometimes they just don't have those units. Or, though if it is one that provides those, like a group unit for everybody to use, they're in the problem because you've got people using it, so then you have to wait, and then, well, if you don't have time to wait, so that's a very great idea. But I also like the idea of any of that, so you could do like that with the laundromat, do the quarters, so they'll have a way to wash their clothes. You can always hand out food. I love that idea, when you cook and you just go around and hand out food, have a table out, or even walk around and just hand it out to random people if you wanted to. However you wanted to do that, maybe somewhere is heavy with a homeless population, that would be a great way to do that. That's another way, we used to do homeless kits, or like preparation bags for them, just to have every little bit that they could have, some deodorant, hygiene stuff, toothpaste, a blanket, a jacket, stuff like that. You could always do that. I actually had a friend at one time that would keep those bags, like just little go bags, in their car for any homeless person that they saw, so that they could help, at least with that, and just hand it to them, and it have stuff in there that they would need. So that's a great idea as well. That's the way to do it. Anything like that, any act of service where somebody is maybe not in as great a situation, or in a downtrodden situation. And they don't have to be homeless either. It could just be somebody that's, hurting for money, or hurting for work, something like that. They're maybe not at the lowest point, but they're not at a great point. And that's the best time to show up, because that's when people need it the most. So that's a really sweet idea. I love that. The next one is set up a hot cocoa stand for the homeless, in your car or van, and drive around the city handing out cups of warmth and words of love. This, wish them a Merry Christmas, and remind them that Jesus, our God, our good shepherd, sees them and loves them. That's a really cute one that goes hand in hand with the other ones that we were talking about, so that's a great idea. I do also like, I like the idea personally of, like, for example, like with the hot cocoa, you could write like Bible verses on the hot sleeves, or even on the cup itself. You could always hand them out to, like, you could just do little printout cards with it. And you could do that with the bag of quarters too. You can just put a little printout card in there, just to give them, like, you could do like a little note to just say, thought you might need some help today, I just wanted you to know somebody was thinking about you, God bless, and then write a Bible verse on it, so that way they have something to like reference. So that's a really cute idea too, and a way to spread God, spread his love, that sort of thing, doing those type of activities. So that's a really great idea. And then our last one is shovel a neighbor's driveway or do some unexpected yard work, praying for them as you work. If they join you outside, ask them to share their own favorite Christmas memories and traditions. Consider sharing what you've learned through your readings in this Advent devotional, and look for opportunities to speak the truth of Jesus' love into their lives. That's a really cute one too. I like that a lot. Especially like if you have neighbors that are maybe a little bit older, or even a busy mom or dad, they got so many kids, or they've got, that they don't have time. So if you know anybody in either of those situations, it'd be a great idea to go help them. I'm sure they would love that, and it's probably something that they either can't get to or haven't had time to. So to have that burden taken off would be a great way. And and if they do come out, then you do get to share with them, and you can kind of talk to them and let them know why you're doing it, and just like it said, kind of strike up that conversation and talk to them about some of their memories and what they loved at Christmas time, and even open up a segue to be able to maybe talk to them about the devotional. Like maybe you could even let them know, this is kind of where I got the idea from, because we're working on practicing love in action, and this is a way to do that, and that gives you a segue into the book to be able to share the word as well. So very great ideas. I love all of them. I love that a lot of them are service-based for this particular one, which makes sense because, like we said, love in action. And that is the purest form of love that we can give, is to just go and help. Nothing expected, nothing, gained from it, nothing, just simply go and help. That's the most purest form of love we can give, because we don't know these people. We're complete strangers, but we care enough to offer them that. And that's what Jesus did. Jesus was never a stranger to anyone because he loved us all. So all those acts of services are really great, and a great way to practice love in action. I love all of them. So that's really cool. So just so you have this, I have been sharing this each time we do the activity page. There is a bonus content, as well as different like little help things, and like you can do there's printouts on there, different stuff like that, but it's all on unwrappingthenames.com. Unwrappingthenames.com. So everything is lowercase, no spaces. But that is a website that they provide for you in here. So like it says on here, for the bonus content, you can download a free printable activity sheet and other fun resources to celebrate Advent together with your family. So it has other resource ideas and activity ideas for you to do with the family. And it also does have certain things to help with some of those activities too. I didn't see any of the ones on there that specifically mentioned that one, mostly because it was service stuff, so it would be a little hard to use that website for that. But I know in previous activity days, there were mention of the of that website specifically in the activity, so it would have something for the activity. I know there was like a worksheet on one, a playlist for one, so it's got a lot of really cool stuff on it, and it's just extra stuff for you to kind of further your studies, further your activities that you do, have more stuff to do with the kids, all of that. So it's a great resource if you need it. So I do just wanted to let y'all know about that. But that is our last activity page. I'm going to get this posted, and then I will be back this evening to do the candle video, which will be our last one, and then we will close out for the season. Thank y'all for joining me. I hope y'all have enjoyed this so far, and I hope everyone is having a wonderful day and a wonderful Christmas with your family, and celebrating Jesus, and just all the joy that all of it brings. So I wish you all a Merry Christmas, and I will see you later this evening.